Welcome to the session 42 and 43, that is impact of technology. In this impact of technology, we study about various economic implications of technology. Various economic implications of technology on the business. The main learning objective of this study is to study the economic implications of technology to the business. After studying this session, the students will be able to understand the various economic implications of technology to the business and their positive and negative impacts. The first impact is increased productivity. The most fundamental effect of technology is greater productivity in terms of both quality and quantity. This is the main reason why technology at all levels is adopted. And in a hospital, the objective may be qualitative, such as maintaining life with electronic monitoring equipment regardless of costs. In a factory, the objective may be quantitative in terms of more production at least cost. Least cost is the effective management of technology. Modern factories are now able to produce goods in a shorter period of time and with fewer defects. For this, thanks to the introduction of Six Sigma quality programs. These programs are designed to increase quality and to eliminate defects, thus enabling firms to compete in any international market. Six Sigma is a statistical term that means 3.5 errors per million, effectively eliminating performance problems and ensuring that products conform to standards. As a result of such Six Sigma programs, HP has become the world leader in printers. As a result of productivity improvements, real wages of employees tend to rise and prices of the same products decline, which spreads the beneficial economic effect of technology throughout the whole social system. The result is that employees and citizens are motivated to want more technological advancement, thereby placing on business major responsibilities to introduce it with due concern for its social and environmental effects. Next economic impact is need to spending on research and development. Research and development assumes considerable relevance in organizations as technology advances. In this context, firms are required to consider, consider, decide, and take action on at least 7 issues. First is the allocation of resources to R&D, that is research and development. A company must make the required resources available for effective research and development. A company R&D intensity is a principal means of gaining market share in a global competition. Besides, consistency in resource allocation to research and development across lines of business improves corporate performance by enabling the firm to better development synergies among the product lines and business units. Secondly, technology transfer the process of ta- taking new technology from the laboratory to the marketplace is equally important. This transfer takes larger time as organizations grow in size. The US based chemical giant DuPont has long been known for its excellence in basic corporate research. Thirdly, the time factor is important in research and development. The time between innovation and commercialization is getting considerably reduced as possible. The companies can no longer assume that competitors will allow them the time needed to recoup their investment. Time to market, therefore, is an important consideration because 60% of successful potential innovations are imitated within 4 years at 65% of the cost of innovation. Fourthly, as new technology comes in, the old technology needs to be abandoned. The process of old replaced by new is called technological discontinuity. Such discontinuity occurs when a new technology cannot be used simply to enhance the current technology but actually substitutes for that technology to yield better performance. The R&D manager must determine when to abandon present technology and then to develop and adopt new technology. Fifthly, the firm must also decide on its own research and development or to outsource technology. The make or buy decision can be important to a company's research and development. Although in-house research and development has been traditionally an important source of technological knowledge for companies, firms can also tap the research and development capabilities of competitors, suppliers, and other organizations through contractual agreement such as licensing, research and development agreements, and through joint ventures. When the product lifecycle were longer, a company was more likely to choose its own research and development, not only because it gave the firm a longer lead time before competitors imitated it, but also because it was more profitable in the long run also. The sixth, it includes issue relates to the decisions on product innovation or process innovation. In the early stages, product innovations are most important because the product's physical attributes and capabilities affect financial performance considerably. Later, process innovations such as improved manufacturing facilities, increasing product quality, and faster distribution become important in maintaining the product economic returns. Finally, in the days to come, organizations will be required to spend vast sum of money on research and development in the area of biotechnology. Japanese Japanese are ahead of other countries in this emerging area. In simple terms, biotechnology has been understood as the application of scientific and engineering principles to the processing of materials by biological agents to provide goods and services. So, these are all the various points to be considered while need to spending on research and development. Next impact is jobs become more intellectual and knowledge oriented. With the advent of technology, jobs tend to become more intellectual or upgraded. A job that is handled by an illiterate and unskilled workers now requires the services of an educated and competent worker. A clerical post in an office now demands the services of an expert in computers. Introduction of new technology dislocates some workers unless they are well equipped to work on new machines. This makes it obligatory on the part of employers to retain their employees and rehabilitate those displaced and untrainable. Equal is the responsibility of the government to provide training and educational facilities to its citizens. Government and business people should boldly demonstrate and convince the citizens that economic growth is more an insurance against unemployment than opposition to the technological advancement. But for those who pick up and acquaint themselves with the new technology, the job will be rewarding. Working class in general stands to gain through increased productivity, reduced prices, and increased real wages, all by products of advanced technology. Along with the upgrading of jobs, technology has its impact on human relations. Technology lays down the requirements for much of the interpersonal interactions in organizations. The arrangement of production setup determines who will be near whom. The workflow determines who needs to talk to whom. And since interaction and activity affects sentiments, technology indirectly determines what individuals in large groups will feel and think about one another and about their work situation. Because of this, job become more intellectual and knowledge oriented. The upgraded jobs will create the difference among the people also through the various skill and knowledge. The next is technostructure problem. Not only jobs become more intellectual, even the new people tend to become highly professional and knowledgeable. An organization which has adopted the latest technology is flush with scientists, engineers, college graduates, and highly skilled workers on its payroll. So, motivation of such employees, for instance, is a difficult task. Such most incentives as attractive remuneration, job security, and just, just treatment hardly inspire the enlightened employees to work more. They are instead motivated by opportunities which offer challenges or growth and achievements. The second impact is the in this is retaining such employees for long is a difficult job. Being cosmopolitan in their outlook, these professional employees are known for organizational ruthlessness and job hopping. In the third situation, scientific and professional workers constitute what Galbraith calls the technostructure of a modern organization. The technostructure tries to control the organization through influencing management's decision making. While there may be nothing wrong in making decisions prompted by the technostructure, the problem lies in social effect that is involved. People constituting a technostructure are experts, no doubt, but they are more action oriented and are to learn social problems of business decisions. Management is therefore in a tight position to balance the ruffled feelings of technocrats and the social consequences of the business decision. Next impact is increased regulation and stiff opposition. A byproduct of technological advancement is the ever increasing regulation imposed on business by the government of the land and still stiff opposition from the public also. The government has the powers to investigate and ban products that are directly harmful or hurt the sentiments of a section of the society. Technological advancements is inviting opposition from those who fear that new innovations are a threat to ecology, privacy, simplicity, and even the human race. These people oppose the construction of high rise buildings, location of industrial plants that eject harmful effluents, and setting up of hydroelectric plants. As the production process becomes more complex and the products assume greater sophistication, public have to be assured of their safety in the product manner, their minimal propensity to cause pollution, and their least threat to happiness and well-being of the human race. The public must be enlightened that technology is not always unidirectional in its effect. It can be corrective as well as curative. Technology has created antibiotics which give rise to side effects. The same technology has also shown remedial measures for the side effects also. Again, technology causes pollution, but it can also be used to check pollution caused by it and by human beings. Technology does contribute to urban blight, but it can also be used to beautify the city and make it more comfortable and enjoyable for the people to live in the cities. Next is rise and decline of products and organizations. Change of technology, therefore, is a norm and not an exception. This poses another problem to a business. A new technology may span a major industry, but it may also destroy an existing one. Transistors, for example, hurt the vacuum tube industry, and xerography hurt the carbon paper business. Televisions affected the business of radio broadcasting companies, and movies and synthetic fibers reduced the demand for cotton fabrics. It is for this reason that invention of new technology as a force of creative destruction. And it is precisely for the same reason that the saying, today's growth product is tomorrow's earthen pot, becomes relevant. Products like materials have life cycles. Typical product today is the subject to a cycle of introduction, growth, maturity, decline, and abandonment. That is the last stage in product life cycle. An organization that is associated with a particular technology is influenced by it and will have the some life pattern of the technology. Such an organization will go in sequence through the introductory, growth, maturity, and decline phases. The life of such an organization may be composed of following stages. One is birth, growth, policy, procedure, theory, religion, ritual, and last rites. In this 8-step sequence, an organization is born and then has its growth. Policies are developed to guide decisions and these are carried out through procedures. These procedures are refined and made more efficient with theories about efficiency. Next is redefinition of business boundaries. Companies may find themselves in a different businesses due to technological changes. So technological change is a potent force in reconfiguring of industry boundaries. It may broaden or narrow generally accepted industry boundaries. For example, advances in information technologies have rendered old conceptions of the financial services industry obsolete. Insurance firms, banks, and brokerage houses can now all be interconnected to provide new financial services, thus blurring long held distinctions among the services offered by these industries. The emergence of e-commerce has changed the concept of conventional business boundaries. A product can be brought from any carrier of the globe. Order placing and payment are being handled through the internet. No producer knows which is his or her market. Entire world is the market. Also, for example, other example includes Xerox. The US landed itself in such position in its copier business thanks to the success of Japanese firms in miniaturizing products. Because Japanese firms introduced smaller sized copiers. So Xerox found itself selling to different customers with different needs through different distribution channels and competing for different bases. Technology change gives rise to product substitutions and differentiations. For example, plastic replaced many uses of steel, and automatic robotics such as CAD, computer aided design, and computer aided manufacturing have bestowed cost and quality advantages on many companies. Japanese automobile manufacturers have gained a significant competitive edge on their rivals elsewhere through the use of this from the technological change. Finally, the multi-product companies technological change may have multiple impacts. For example, technological change can create new synergies across businesses or obsolete existing ones. Advances in tech- telecommunications and computer technologies have made new synergies possible across business dealings with computers, television sets, and communications. Next, last is bioprofessional and multi-professional managers. Technocrats need to acquire skills by management education. Today's business need bioprofessional and multi-professional managers. Attention needs to be focused on know-how technology and do-how management. Among these between know-how and do-how activities, the main focus is on multi-skill and management of the proper adoption of the for the proper adoption of the technology. Last economic impact is insatiable demand for capital. That is, technology demands huge investment of capital for acquiring new ideas and their adoption, educating the workers, training the workers, and maintain of the technocrats and managers. These are all call for heavy investment. So these are all the impact of technology on economy or implications of economic implications on business. In this session, you will clearly understood about various economic implications to the business as well as the society.